If you love cream cheese frosting, just wait until you try this chocolate cream cheese frosting. It's so soft and fluffy, perfect for spreading over chocolate cake, and keeps its shape for piping onto chocolate cupcakes. Welcome to Recipes by Karina, where I share with you how to make classic and simply delicious recipes. Make sure to follow my page or subscribe for a new recipe each week. To start, we're going to need a stand mixer or a hand mixer. You can make this recipe by hand, but it's so much easier and quicker to use a machine. Add your room temperature butter to the bowl and set the mixer to a medium speed. If you'd like the full recipe for this chocolate cream cheese frosting, it'll be on my website as well as the full measurements listed in the description box below. Before you start making this frosting, it's really important to make sure all your ingredients are at room temperature. If you've ever had cream cheese frosting or buttercream split on you become runny or grainy, chances are it's because your butter or cream cheese was too cold. It's a good rule with all baking to let all of your ingredients come up to room temperature before you start. Use a rubber spatula to scrape down the sides of the bowl just so all of the butter is being whipped evenly, and turn the mixer back on. I much prefer this chocolate cream cheese frosting compared to chocolate buttercream for things like chocolate cakes, which tend to be pretty rich. It's much less sweet and more tangy, which means it pairs really well with a sweet and rich cake, but also you can use a lot more without it being overpowering. But I would say the biggest reason though is it's just the silkiest, softest frosting ever. You really have to give it a try. Take your cream cheese, make sure you're using a bar type of cream cheese here, not light or spreadable, as that will cause the frosting to become pretty thin, and cut it into a few pieces. Add it to the bowl with the butter. Set the machine to a medium-high speed to whip the ingredients together for about a minute or so. We added the butter first as it needs much longer than the cream cheese to whip up and become light and fluffy. This recipe will make a pretty good amount of frosting, enough to generously pipe 12 to 15 cupcakes or cover a 2 to 3 layer 8-inch chocolate cake. If chocolate really isn't your thing, I have a bunch of other flavoured buttercream and frosting recipes. Delicious perfect vanilla buttercream or Swiss meringue, which can be a little tricky to make, but is so delicious. Salted caramel, or one of my favourites, is brown sugar buttercream, which pairs perfectly with banana cake. I will have the recipe for those linked below. Turn the mixer off and start to add the dry ingredients. We'll need 3 cups or 375 grams of powdered Confectioners or icing sugar. These are all the same ingredient, just different names in different parts of the world. You'll notice I give the recipe amounts in cups and grams, so no matter where in the world you live, you should find this recipe easy enough to follow. Add the sugar to the bowl along with half a cup or 50 grams of unsweetened cocoa powder. Make sure to use a really good quality dark cocoa powder here, which will give you the best flavour. Turn the machine on to low and start to combine the ingredients together. Watch out for the sugar cloud. The frosting will look pretty clumpy and dry, but just keep mixing until all of the sugar gets incorporated. With the machine running, slowly pour in 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk. It's really important to remember when making buttercream, frostings or icings, it's so easy to add more liquid, but so difficult to thicken the mixture up, so always add less than you think you'll need. Whether you're piping the frosting or spreading it over a cake will determine whether you want it thicker or thinner in consistency. Using a rubber spatula, scrape down the sides of the bowl to get any bits of sugar or cocoa powder that hasn't been incorporated. Measure out 1 teaspoon of a good quality vanilla extract or essence and add it to the bowl. Vanilla is really important to use with chocolate as it helps bring out the flavour. Turn the machine back on and whip the frosting for another minute or 2 until it becomes silky and soft and has lightened in colour. The frosting can be used straight away or stored in the fridge or freezer. For freezer instructions and how to thaw, follow the link to my website. I hope you give this recipe a try. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.